Hey there, YouTubers. This is Matt the StarCraft, and I've got another cast for you. This is between ESCGoOdy and our Red Zerg mTwDimaga. This 1v1 is going to be taking place on IC Cup Test Pug. Test Pug? No, this is not a dog. IC Cup Test Bug. And it's going to be for the Zotac Cup. Sadly, this is the only game that was posted for one reason or another, so I will just be casting this. And it should be a good game. Dimaga is known for very heavy speedling and fester play. It's kind of one of his trademarks. He's actually quite a good Zerg player, but the problem with Dimaga is that I haven't seen him around a lot. I'm sure he's been doing some smaller stuff here and there. I'm pretty sure he's been in the MLGs, but I just haven't seen much of him. As far as replays goes, I haven't seen much of him up on any of the replay sites I go to, so... He's personally one of my favorite players to watch. I just like him. He's very creative with his Zerg play, and he's definitely just a fun guy to watch. So I'm glad to be able to cast this game. Goody, I've cast it a couple times. I can't remember when. I'm trying to think of one of the games that I casted. I know I cast him. He's quite a good player. Another one of the guys who's kind of fallen off the face of the earth as far as my casting experience goes. I know a few people have him out there in casting, but I haven't seen too much of him. Another great Terran player. I'm really excited, and this is actually one of my favorite maps, IC Cup Test Bug. It's the only, or one of the only, three-player maps out there. It's got good spread. It's not too big, not too small, and just a very unique map. It has 4 Xel'Naga watchtowers, one in the center, which is free to get. The other 3 are completely surrounded by destructible debris, so if you want them, if you want that scouting information, if you want that map control, you need to work for it, and you need to grab it, and you need to take it. We did see Dimaga grabbing gas first, so he was going to be doing a gas pool. So early speedlings, as I said, Zerglings are one of his more favorite unit that he plays with, and it's definitely has worked for him thus far. As far as Goody goes, looks like we'll be grabbing a tech lab on his first wreck, so we'll see what that does. Maybe he'll be grabbing a factory, swapping that out, grabbing some early Hellion play, even potentially some Marauders or a Reaper, which is what I just saw. So early Reaper harass. This could be interesting to watch. Reapers, actually in a game that I recently casted between Yao Sun Tzu and Saunders. Sun Tzu did early Reaper harass, and it proves to be very beneficial for early game scouting and harassment early in the game. The thing is, you don't see Reapers too often because they were extraordinarily powerful in beta, but come game launch, they nerfed Reapers to not be as powerful, so a lot of people don't use them anymore, but still quite the effective unit, and I'm glad to see them used still. We do have Overlord popping out over here, so Dimaga spreading his Overlords quite nicely, getting good map control, and now we got the first Reaper on the field. Let's see what this sucker can do. No Reaper speed, so as you can see, just kind of putting around with his normal jetpacks. I would be badass to be a Reaper, though. Jetpacks, guns, really hard to catch. Suicide missions in the early game. Just a good time all around as a Reaper. And now as we swing in here, just going to start harassing the natural as he's grabbing that natural. You see Dimaga is grabbing a few Zerglings to deal with the Speedling, almost done. Bunker has dropped, so hoping to get that bunker down. He will be able to cut Zerglings around as he is a tad bit faster, but the Zergling's going to try and delay this bunker as long as he can. Killed off that SCV, but Goody one step ahead and grabbing another SCV to finish this off, potentially be able to get this going. And now he's killed off all those Zerglings, and here come even more to try and delay this. Gonna ignore the Reaper completely and try and finish off this SCV so it doesn't get finished, and it will not be finished. And I do not think we'll be seeing another SCV to finish this off. And now Queen here to just kind of ward them away. But still, 2 Reapers is going to do a lot of damage. Gonna try. The Speedling is upgraded now, is done, so they are going to be fast enough. But still killing off all those Speedlings, canceling that bunker. And now saving that last Reaper and swinging in here with the SCV to do a quick scout to see what is going down. But not before intercepted by a bunch of Zerglings. So I love that play. Early harassment play against the Zerg can be so detrimental because it is forcing them to use all the minerals on and all their larvae on an army instead of on drones. So setting them back economically early game is something that you always want to do against the Zerg, especially one like Dimaga who loves to macro. So stopping him from macroing could really throw him off his game. He did kill 12 units, so he was able to get quite a few units killed there. Just shows you how many units Dimaga was forced to make during that initial harassment. Now he's going to keep these Zerglings out in the field just to keep some scouting information down. And while Goody himself is just going to do the typical 1-1-1 build. Got a starport down, factory down. Actually going to be dropping double starport, so heavy infantry play perhaps. We'll see what happens with that. And it looks like Marines are going to be shooting away at this Overlord over here. Or where? I heard them shooting. Oh, the Overlord in here, who's getting quite a good scout. But is he going to see those starports? Let's find out, shall we? He is not going to see those starports. So whatever he decides to do, we will see. Ooh, we got what? Tech Lab's going down. So very harassment heavy build we've got coming from Goody. First Reapers. Now it looks like we're going to be doing some sort of Banshee play. And now we'll see what's coming out of this factory. Going to be dropping nothing right now. So just going to attach that to the Tech Lab. So maybe some Siege Tech upgrades is going to be dropping and Siege Tanks. We'll see. But that Banshee play could be quite nice. Not going to go for the Cloak. Just going to go for the Banshees themselves. And now he's going to swing in here with some Zerglings to get a scout, but not before the Reapers do some damage. And Hellions and Blue Flame as well. So, wow, Goody really focusing on that harassment style play. And I really like to see that against a Zerg who goes heavy Zerglings, because that could do so much damage, especially if not reacted to properly. So we'll see exactly what Dimaga does. He's not going to be prepared for any Banshees at all, actually. He doesn't have Evolution Chamber down. He has no way of really defending against this. He has only 2 Queens on the field. So this could do a lot of damage if Dimaga doesn't get some sort of defenses up against it. So we'll see how Dimaga responds to that. Grabbing his third pretty early, so definitely gonna hopefully get ahead in the macro game. That's what he wants to do. He is significantly ahead in the worker count, which is not surprising, as Goody is going an extremely aggressive style and pumping a lot of his unit minerals into units and not the economy. Sorry, loss of words. I've been casting a lot. I've got a lot of casts done today, so kind of getting a little out of breath and tired. So we'll see what happens. He's going to be dropping a Baneling Nest here and an Evolution Chamber here. The Evolution Chamber may be a little bit too late. I'm not sure if he even is getting it for the Spore Crawlers, just potentially for the upgrades. He doesn't. I don't even think he knows that those Banshees are on the way soon enough. And here we go. A pack of 4 Banshees going to be swinging in. This could be really dangerous for Dimaga if he's not ready for it. And he's not. He didn't get the scout he needed with that Overlord. Got like a factory down, so he does have the Spine Crawler walling off, assuming there's going to be a heavy ground army. And instead, he's going to be dealt with a pretty significant air army here and going straight for the drones, quickly backing that Queen up a bit. Going to wait for that other Queen before anything happens. Going to be picking off worker after worker after worker. So quickly scooting his workers out of there. Going to be sending straight to the third. There goes the Queen. And now he essentially has free reign over the natural. Going to be popping the Spine Crawler so he has a hole in the center if he ever so deems it necessary. And now picking off whatever he can. Now going straight for the natural. What is he going to be able to do against this? He does have the Spire down, so now he's going to pop out some Mutalisks, because these guys can only shoot down. And a couple of Spore Crawlers on the way in the main, so he can move those and uproot them if he needs to, but not before he loses his natural. That is going to do a lot of damage to Dimaga, who is now going to be sitting on 2 bases again, and 2 base versus 2 base is not good. Even though Goody was significantly lower in the worker count, he is now going to be looking good, as he did do a lot of damage. Now he's going to be swinging over here into the natural, as the third rather, as he did see the third, and he'll be picking off a ton of drones. Mutalisks coming in, but a little too late, and they're just going to keep focusing the drones down, hopefully picking off as many as they can. And if we take a look, he has killed 24 workers for Goody. That is a huge amount, and that is going to look quite nice for him now that he is looking at the unit count. He is 47 to 29, so wow. Setting Dimaga back a giant chunk. This is going to be tough for Dimaga to come back, as his economy is going to be so hurting. And now he's going to bring in his flock of Mutalisks to try to do as much economic damage as he can in turn. Goody does have a few Vikings out, so he's going to try and be able to handle this as best he can. Doesn't want to go right to them because of the amount of Mutalisks. Going to try and pull them back to the rear where there's a missile turret and a few Marines. The Marines, though, sacrificing their lives for the better good to try and keep them up. Goody not moving the SCVs. I'm curious why he's just letting them be picked off one after the other here. I'm curious indeed, and I see some running going on, so I'm curious. He's just doing a drone transfer over there. Now the Thor's out, so that's going to end that harassment. And yes, there it is. I saw movement as that was going on. It looks like Goody himself was doing a counterattack with Blue Flame Hellions. They were on the map. way off on the right-hand side. So he did swing them around for a counterattack as those Mulists were doing damage of their own. So if we take a look, it's been 34 workers killed for Goody to 24 for Dimaga, and unit count is still just about evened up. Goody is just a little bit ahead, but not too much. So yeah, Dimaga was able to catch up a little bit there. That did more damage than I expected it to. But Goody did not lose a base, which is what Dimaga has lost, which still may end up biting him in the ass. And now the Banshees are back for more terror, more action. Just want to get this going and do as much damage as they can. See the Spore Crawlers going to be placed down right in their mineral line to try and ward these guys off. The Queens on their way as well. 2 Queens and a Spore Crawler will be more than enough. Is he going to lose any of these? Yes, he does lose 1 Banshee, so that is good news for Dimaga, as that did a ton of damage. And still no static defenses over here in his third, which is surprising, as the third has been hit pretty heavily, and all he's got is a handful of Roaches, a couple of Zerglings, and a Baneling, which, you know, could take out a small amount of units, but not a lot. And the creep is continuing to spread. At the very least, he's been up on his creep spread, slowly reaching the base of Goody. And I have a text message, 1 minute. Alright, so moving on in. So like I said, at least the creep's been good. It's still, Dimaga is not in a position he is feeling comfortable in. He is a much more macro-oriented player, and Goody has been doing a damn good job from stopping him from doing that. And if you take a look at his army count, it's so small, as he's had to just constantly rebuild drones this entire time. All of his gas have been put into those Mutalisks that are now more or less gone. He only has a couple flying about the map as we speak, just getting some scouting information. And the Overlord's still keeping an eye on that natural, but he has seen all he could see without sacrificing his life. And that is not something he wants to do at all. So Goody amassing his army, getting ready to press out. He's going to see the creep. He is going to be placing some turrets down for detection and anti-air. This is going to be quickly destroyed, and is going to have the access to the Xel'Naga watchtower now. Which is good. It's definitely something you definitely want, especially near your base. Grabbing that just to be sure. And now these guys, these 2 Mutalisks, going to swing in here, see what's going on. Don't want to do too much. They are going to catch this third. They're not going to see it. If he doesn't move them, they are going to definitely catch this third before it gets landed. And it looks like they will indeed. So some potentially trying to stop that. But just 2 Mutalisks are not going to do too much. So don't expect that third to be stopped. Just harassed ever so slightly. And this Overlord saying his goodbyes to his family, calling his friends, letting him know that his days are at an end. And he will pop like a hard air balloon very, very shortly. Pop goes the Weasel. Goodbye. And now this Mutalisks still getting a good amount of damage done, but here comes the Thor to fend them off and get them out of this house. Tell them, this is my house. Be gone, fools. And pop. There goes 1. He's going to keep 1 chilling here, looks like. And no. Gonna go fly by this. What is this? This dropship from StarCraft 1, it looks like. This broken dropship that no one uses anymore because medevacs are 10 times better. We can see upgrades are going down. Level 2 weapons upgrades for the Terran. Level 2 plating. Right now his Thor is a 1-1 upgrade against pretty much a 1-1 Roaches, which are not exactly the best matchup, but in mass Roaches can definitely handle themselves. And now it looks like Dimaga has caught up and surpassed in the worker count, but at the sacrifice of an army. As Goody has been able to continually build a very sizable army and keep his SCV count up. This is maybe a little too late, and now all these Blue Flame Hellions for one more hurrah and harassment hurrah swinging in here, and now the worker killed count is up to 56. Goody been going on a killing spree of drones, just hating on the drones today, just really gunning for him. Says screw you. Dimaga taking a 4th, but his drone count not going to be good enough to really support this. The 4 bases are not going to be able to do too much against this big, gigantic, giant, enormous, humongous giant. I'm running out of words to describe. Huge death ball from the Terran, and even a few Reapers in there for good measure. This could spell the end, as all he has, it looks like, is a contingent of Roaches sieging up. This is not looking good, keeping his Thors in the back behind the line of siege tanks so they don't do too much damage. mTwDimaga trying to move in close to the siege tanks to splash damage to each other, which it looks like they are going to, but not before all these Roaches are quickly cleaned up. And now he moves in, and Dimaga says GG. A very GG indeed. Goody did a great job with that. The harassment, preventing him from macroing up, preventing him from grabbing that third. The fact that Dimaga, when he threw his Overlord in there, didn't see those Banshees, did such a huge number onto his worker count. Either way, great game, you guys. I appreciate the ability to cast such high-level players as you. And I hope to see you guys next cast, and don't forget to subscribe.